Hey, welcome to Where's Your Pamphlet. My name is Rob and I'm the host of this one-man show coming to you every Monday, 6 a.m. UK time. And Happy New Year! I think it's very appropriate that I first greet you with this because this episode is all about the ins and outs of 2026, what I'm keeping and what I'm like trying to get away, but leave in 2025 at least. Hope you guys are having a great start of the year, to be fair. Like, that is just started, but hey, maybe 2026 is gonna be that year. Who knows? We had so many high expectations for 2025, but 26, maybe that's gonna be it. One can only hope. But yeah, so I wanted to just mainly talk about what I'm in the pop culture space, at least, what I'm really expecting and what I really want, I guess, what I'm really manifesting for 2026, what I'm keeping and what I want to, have, I guess, in 2026 from the pop girlies and the movies and music and TV shows and all that stuff. And what I want to instead also leave in 2025. And oh boy, there's quite a few. I'm not sure if I have actually more out than ins, to be fair, but it usually tends to be that for me because I like to discard and I don't know what's coming for me like in the future. I don't know what to expect. I'm always very much receiving anything with open arms, so I don't really have many things that I'm really rooting for. I mean, I have, well, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stuff that I'm looking forward to and that I really want to happen in 2026. But yeah, I think I have quite a few outs as well. So shall we get into the outs? Of course, you can stick until the end of the episode to still get my songs of the week. You'll see them. You can find them on my Spotify playlist. We're starting a new one for the month of Jan, so it's going to be January 2026 first playlist of the year. But stick around for that because she got some songs. But yeah, let's get on with the outs first. I think we should start off with the negative note and then get hopefully onto more positive things. So with the outs, I'm starting off with a triplet here of points that are all somehow connected. Well, not somehow. They're very easily connected. Well, I never expected these three things to be so interlinked. These three people specifically that I'm gonna name in a second, but they are, which is very annoying. But I want to leave in 2025 the following three people in, I guess, the political / pop culture space, weirdly enough, and I'm talking about number 1, Candace Owens, number 2, Erica Kirk, and you can see the easy link, but the unexpected link that I think everyone was pretty shocked by was also Nicki Minaj being involved in all this, and I do think it's time to leave Nicki behind. Unfortunately, it really pains me to say because I really enjoy her music, well, her old hits the most, I guess, but she just keeps on digging the grave deeper and deeper, and I think there's no coming back from this, actually, if I have to be honest. I mean, there's always going to be a way of coming back for her because she's that famous, but I'm personally leaving her in 2025. I've had enough of her shenanigans. I'm sorry, this was the latest one was just, frankly, just baffling, honestly, but we'll get into that. Let's start first with Candace Owens. I am, if you don't know who she is, I think you might know who she is, especially if you listen to podcasts, you know that she's quite a prominent figure in especially right-wing political podcasts. But I wouldn't even go as far as, well, she talks a lot about politics, of course, so maybe that's why you would put her in that, but I think more than that, she just talks about a lot of conspiracies. She comes on with quote-unquote hot takes about whatever's going on in politics, but just starts spewing so many unfounded things that she passes as facts, and it's so appalling to see how many people, especially liberal women, who still listen to her shit. and they listen to her in the guise of, oh, but she brings some good, she always brings some good points. To who? To whom? Use your noggin, please. I'm begging. The amount of people I've seen, the amount of people that I know are very liberal and they're still into her stuff and still recite some of the things she says. I'm like, are you well? I mean, I think on the meme side of things, it's funny. She's she's actually deranged, and it's funny to see. Like I would really compare her to HRH Collection, for example. Like, she's a big rage baiter, basically. And it's funny for the stuff that she says. Like, sometimes she says stuff that is just fucking insane. But I think, unfortunately, there are some people who actually take her quite seriously, and I'm like very shocked by that. And that's where I want to leave her behind. Like, let's not take Candace Owens seriously in 2026, please. Like, let's just not do that. Like, I'm sick and tired of seeing people actually reciting what she says and like actually taking whatever she said in her podcast as truth. Like, you guys need to go out, touch some grass, step back into reality, and get your head out of the conspiracy gutter, please. Like, this is just ridiculous. I think I'm surprised. Like, also, I think I expected more. Like, expected more from people. Like, some people, I thought they had a bit of a higher IQ. And it's just baffling to see some people actually believing in what she says and like actually following her stuff. I am shocked. I never consume any of her media except when it's like on TikTok or X, like some excerpts from like some just clips that are funny or whatever. But I never ever. I tried to listen just one maybe episode, the one that she made about Charlie Kirk or something when he was assassinated or something. She started going through all these details about the possible shooter, and then she started like conspiring about the many different people who could have been, like who could have sent him or whatever. Like, I think it's fine to like dabble with these things, with these conspiracies every now and then, but to like really start believing them is just some other form of derangement, I think, than delusion that I do not want to bring into 2026. Thank you very much. I would like to leave it in the year of 2025. I'm so over it. So yeah, and then this is the perfect segue to Erica Kirk. I am ready to move on from that. It's good that we're making fun of her. I really appreciate that. I'm hopeful, thankfully, that people are actually starting to make fun of her. But yeah, let's also forget about her, please. Like, I'm just surprised that we're giving her a platform still, and then I find the memes, the tweets about her, like, her husband died, meanwhile she's on stage with fireworks and all that shit, like, recycling clips from blonde pop stars doing the most on stage. I think that's hilarious, and I think that's the good energy that we can talk about, like we can accept, I guess. But overall, let's just, the Kirk situation, we can just please move on for that. Like, I've really had enough of that. Like, I'm even We Are Charlie Kirk, I love those memes. I keep on really enjoying them, but I think it's appropriate that we leave them in 2025 and we just move on. We just don't want to, keep on giving these people platforms. I think it's fine if we just, we respect the dad, I guess, let's just say, and then we can just move on. Please, I've had enough. I don't want to, give these people more platforms, because here, again, this is what happens when you give Erica Kirk a platform and you have people like Nicki Minaj outing themselves as MAGA supporters. Although, again, this is the other out that I want Nicki Minaj to be left, of course, in 2025. But I do have a hot take on this, and I think, and I think actually, to be fair, it's even a bigger problem if you think about it. But I don't think actually she is MAGA. I don't think she is. I think she's just, as usual, Nicki's a big troll. She loves to troll, but she loves to troll in a way that is like serious. Like, she loves to attach herself to conversations that are always very controversial, and I think this time this was a huge misfire, and she attached herself to something that's frankly quite going like immoral, I guess, for her from her point of view, or like from her fandom and from people who made her famous in the first place. I think truthfully what she saw was when she did that speech at the UN. Was it for like the Christians in Nigeria or something? I can't remember, something like that. That speech that she did at the UN, I think she sort of like thanked the president for allowing her to speak, and I think she might have seen the support from, like, the positive feedback from like, I think the right wing people, and also some people praising how she looked and all that stuff, and I think she was like, oh, let me double down on this and do even something even crazier and go, like, she thought this was gonna be the PR move for her, and this backfired so badly. The stuff she said on that stage with Eric Carter was just fucking weird. She started talking about like, oh, boys, you guys should be boys. Please be man, like, man, please be man, and all that stuff. Women, please be women. Like, she was speaking with an undertone of like sort of almost like, I don't want to say transphobia, but almost like, and also very conservative undertone, which is so weird to see because famously she is actually a gay icon. Like, the Barbs are mostly gays and girls, like, literally. Like, she's become famous because of how camp she is, and it's insane to see someone like that go on that stage, especially when Charlie Kirk said that she was a bad role model for black people, and also, well, to be fair, he also said that one of his favorite songs was one of Nicki Minaj's songs, and also she said on the stage that she was gonna make a song with him, like, she's gonna use some recordings of his voice to like make a song with him, like, about him or whatever. I don't know, just I don't care. Like, can we please just, I've had enough. Too many shenanigans. Nicki loves to insert herself into mess in general, into drama, and this was a step too far, I guess. Like, she just miscalculated this greatly. She had to deactivate Instagram because everyone was coming for her neck, basically, rightfully so. So yeah, I think, you know what? I think you can tempt fate just a few times, but not, you cannot keep on doing it, endlessly until you get some, bad energy back, and this was her moment, I guess. So she tempted, I think, karma too many times, if I have to be honest. Like, she inserted herself in situations that were none of her business too many times, and I think this was the biggest misstep, and I'm ready to leave that behind. I'm sorry. Like, I'll still bop to her songs if they come in a club or whatever, they come on in a club, but I'm not here for it. Her album is coming out in March, but now I think she fucking blew her whole album campaign with this, so I don't know if it will still come out in March. I think maybe the label is gonna be very apprehensive about it, and it's not gonna release it until maybe she rehabilitates her image a bit, but it's gonna take a lot of work. So good luck to you, Miss Girl. But this was one of the most disappointing moments of 2025, if I have to be honest. So let's leave her behind. Next, still in the conservative camp, Sydney Sweeney. Can we also leave her behind? And here's a different take, I think, on her. I don't mean necessarily her. Like, I don't want to be mean to her necessarily in that sense, but also at the same time, and I do truthfully think that she is a conservative, a Republican voter and all that stuff, but I also think she's not as conservative as people make her to be. But I think but the whole thing was the conservative campaign. It was a whole PR stunt, especially also dating Scooter Braun. I think she's trying to consolidate her audience and her position, and I cannot really, I don't want to say I cannot fault her for that, but I think it makes sense let's just put it that way. It makes sense in the sense of business-wise. She's trying to like create her audience, an audience and a type of content that I don't associate myself with, so she's never gonna have my money, but I guess it sort of makes sense for what she believes in. But I also want to leave her behind because, like, honestly, I'm truly sick and tired of seeing her everywhere, and most of all in a bunch of very mid projects. Like, either you peak, you peak in your career by doing good cinema, or you just, relegate yourself as an C-lister, honestly. And I'm surprised that she's getting so many roles. Well, actually, I'm not surprised because, again, this goes hand in hand with her conservative PR stunt and Scooter Braun and all that stuff. Like, she's trying to open so many possibilities for herself, open so many doors, connections, and all that stuff. But honestly, the results are frankly disappointing. Like, all of her movies that she's been in so many projects, and they're all fucking weak and mid and just not good at all. So honestly, if you have to keep doing this, don't. Just, stay in 2025. Don't step into 2026. Let's just say. So I'm ready to see less of her and more of my girl Zendaya. Honestly, Zendaya, Alexa Dami, she spoke not too long ago about how difficult it is to be a very Latina actress in that sense. Like, you don't get the same type of roles that someone like Sydney Sweeney, white woman in the US, very conservative, gets. She gets so many opportunities, while someone like her, who is a bit older, she's not necessarily like, very palatable to white people in that sense. It's very difficult for that, but I'm manifesting for her to get, some more roles. And Zendaya as well she's gonna have a lot of stuff coming up in this year, so she took a very well deserved break, I think, Zendaya, and she's gonna be back this year for sure. She has so many projects lined up for the summer and everything else, so I'm excited to see that. But yeah, let's leave Sydney Sweeney in 2025, please. Now on to some music. 80s revival. Can we please move on? We have revived the 80s so many fucking times that I'm like, honestly, how many more 80s copycats can we, can we have, can we accept, can we tolerate? I've had enough. Like, this started ages ago, and it's still, like, it skyrocketed, and it reached, I think, a peak during the pandemic, and I'm baffled to see that still, even to this, even this year, people are still regurgitating 80s music. I'm like, not happy about it. Please, can we move on? I've had enough. We've gave it a fair shake. Let's just move on to new stuff. And even the country moment had a bit of a revival, but I think it didn't dominate. I think it's not going to dominate as long as the 80s did. The 80s revival, I mean. So I don't think country's going to have a big 2026 in that sense. The country adjacent. It had a good moment in 2025, to be fair. But I think we're desperate for a new moment in music. And I have an idea and a wish that I will get into when I talk about my ins. My wish list for 2026. But yeah, so 80s music, please, no. Like, let's just not do this anymore, please. Now, on to some memes that I want to leave in 2025. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday except for me, bitch. I'm coming for your fucking neck. Like, I do not want to hear that sound anymore, please. Like, I do have a sneaky suspicion that it won't, unfortunately, fade away, because it's sort of cemented itself as it to me feels like it started off in a funny way, I guess, but now it feels more like a millennial core, like, vocal stim, or like, what is it called, like those sounds that are very millennial core. Like, I'm sure somewhere in the world right now, a millennial girl is looking at these, scrolling through TikTok or Instagram Reels and seeing these videos with that sound, is she's having a little giggle, and good for her. But I'm not none of the sorts. I'm not anything like that. I do want to move on from that, please. I don't want to see it. I do not want to endorse it. I just want to move on from it. And I hope Jet 2 fails. The whole company goes into flames. It's a bit much, but I've had enough. Please, let's just move on. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Enough. Please, let's just forget about it. Now, I want to talk briefly about Kim Kardashian. Can we please stop giving her acting roles? I've had enough. Also, Ryan Murphy, what the fuck? Like, this is not the gag that you think is what it's gonna be, right? Like, just leave her behind. She's had many chances with you, and she's not bringing any attention to your projects. I'm sorry, this is not the gag that you think it's gonna be. Like this, and it hasn't been. To be fair, it hasn't been at all. Like, I'm sorry, she's not, just because she has money, she has a social media cachet, which is honestly is not as big as it used to be. That doesn't necessarily translate into viewership in and interest in TV shows, because she's never been a serious actress. People don't look out for the next Kim Kardashian project in acting. Like, this is not a thing, and stop trying to make it a thing. Like, this is not happening. I'm sorry. So yeah, I think we should I think we should leave that in 2025. I'm sorry, like, nothing is gonna make me go watch a Kim Kardashian show. Like, I'm sorry, this is not happening. This is not a thing. Please, let's just stop pretending like it could be a thing. And then my last out, I guess, for the year. Well, apart from Trump, to be fair, let's just like fucking get rid of him. But there's gonna take a lot of witchcraft for that to happen. I think, like, the witches are strong, but are not as strong as they could be. I haven't taken him down. But apart from that, let's just one last thing I want to talk about that I want to leave into 2025 is Labubus. Now, girl, I've been a Labubu defender. I do not condone people trashing Labubus, but I also feel like it's a very 2025 moment, and I think we can find a new thing to obsess over in terms of fashion or whatever, charms or whatever it is. I think they had a good moment, and I think it was cute, and I think it was incredible to see that happening. And it's just, like, a fashion trend, but I'm ready to leave it in 2025. Nothing strictly against Labubus, but I think I think the culture is ready to move on to the next thing. That's just my opinion. I'm not, here to trash Labubus. I think they slay. I think they're cute. I think some girls rock it, some guys rock it too, but we can just move on. And that's pretty much it for my outs. Now let's go to my ins. Let's like try and end this on a more positive note, I guess. First off, my 2026 in, my number one, I would say at the moment, and I think about constantly, is Canada. Canada the country, yes, Canada the country as a whole, but also I mean more like in terms of Canadian domination, like pop culture domination. I'm talking about heated rivalry, of course. I'm talking about small Canadian TV shows. I want more of them in 2026. I want more Canadian exposure, please. I want more Carly Rae Jepsen. Whereas, like, she is the queen of Canada. Please come back to us. Like, I know you're a new mom. Like, you've just become a mother, and you've just gotten married to your man. But I don't care. Get back into the studio. Give us music, please. Give us something. Come back quickly. Tay McRae, where to begin? She's still on the rise. She's still rising. She's rising by the moment. She is the moment. And I think 2026 is going to bring even more Tay McRae moments. Hopefully proper culture domination. I hope she's cooking up something, like some song of the summer or something. I hope she's going to get another big hit. But she is very relevant, which is what I really, really enjoy, and what I really am surprised to see, like, and pleasantly surprised to see, and how quickly, how she keeps on raising, the exposure for herself. It just keeps on getting better and better, and the fact that she's so young also means that she still has plenty of gas in the tank and plenty of things to do. So I'm just I'm ready for Canadian domination. Like, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for Tay McRae to just have me on a chokehold once again. Yeah, I mean, it's been more than a year now since So Close to What. So I can possibly foresee a summer moment maybe for her. I want that for her. So wait, no, actually maybe it hasn't been a year. I'm lying. Wasn't it very early on in 2025 that so it was probably January or something? I don't know. It must have been close to that. I don't know. Either way, it's been a year, and I think let's take a bit more time first and hone the craft and just cook up some like good songs and maybe have a summer 2026 summer moment, something, or and the end of the year 2026 end of the year moment. I think you can definitely do that, girl. You have all that it takes. Like literally no one is doing performances and you know, like actual performance. I'm not talking simply about dancing, but also like vocal performance and like character performance. Like you have it. Please cook up something good out next, and I think you're gonna be one of the main pop girls for the next generation. So yeah. Speaking of which, another two ins, I guess, that I combined together are Addison Rae and Audrey Hobart. Like, out of the new artists of 2025, these two, to me, are the standouts. And I think there's so much to look forward to with them because they're both very unique, but also speak to a part of me that is very, very important, and it's gonna help me also move on to the next in for the year. But I think they're very talented. They both are very. It's very rare to see like two new artists be so focused on what they're selling in a way. Like they know very well what their selling point is, and now and how unique they are as well in their own categories. They're both very unique in their own way. Like Addison Rae, how do I say, like she's very tapped into the music culture. Like she's a very good taste maker, let's just say that. Incredible performer too. She's very emotive, very, very, she speaks to a feral part of me. And then Audrey Hobart is that, but in the songwritery camp, but not in a serious one. She's like, she is serious and she speaks about very interesting things, but she has this very cheesy in a good way type of writing, and she just has a knack for melodies, and she reminds me. So every time I think about Audrey Hobart, I constantly think about Red by Taylor Swift, and specifically I'm talking about We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together. That's the type of artist that she is. Like she is that personified. If I could choose a song to describe her, I would choose We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift. Like that's the vibe that she brings, and it's so specific and it's so refreshing to see. And this leads me to the next in. I'm here for a 2010s revival, like music. And I think if anyone can lead this revival is Addison Rae and Audrey Hobart. Those two, I think they can easily bring back that vibe, and I still think they kind of did already with their respective albums. They both feel very 2010s a bit in the vibe. Like Audrey Hobart is very 2010s. Like go listen to, for example, I don't know, Silver Jubilee, or like I don't know what was it called, like Bowling Alley. Even Sumi, to be fair, is a bit of a 2010 bop. And Addison Rae is doing the same, but like in the performance type of camp in that sense. So I think those two should be the front runners of this revival that I really want for the 2026. I think that might be a good. I want just like, there's so much untapped potential there. I need some pop positivity. I want something like, something 2010s. Like I just want to feel very carefree. I just want to have great revival of the 2010s, like in terms of sounds and everything else. I'm talking about like One Direction type of music, and like 22 by Taylor Swift type of music. These very optimistic. I want poptimism back. So yeah, I'm ready for that. Then I also want a song of the summer that we all collectively enjoy. I need another espresso. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. I want another espresso. I want another song of the summer that we all collectively latch on to, and we just keep on playing the shit out of. I want that. We didn't really have it this past year. I think we lacked a proper summer hit. But I think 2026 can bring it. Girl, I believe in you, please. So I want that. In terms of movies and like acting and all that stuff, I want Sadie Sink to have her moment. I think she's gonna have it. I mean, you can say whatever you want about Stranger Things. I also did not particularly vibe with the last season, but I think it's pretty clear that out of all these people, the only one person that is truly standing out constantly in that show is Sadie Sink, and it is specifically her looks and her aura as an actress, but also her acting itself. And she has a Spider-Man project coming up. Like, she's going to be in the next Spider-Man movie this summer. So I think we're ready for Sadie Sink's domination. I think she's built for this. She has the potential to be the next big thing in acting. She's still quite young, so she can't easily get there, I think. So I'm ready to see her. Ever since I saw her in the Stranger Things already like gave me a good exposure for her, but when she was in the short film for All Too Well 10-minute version, I was gagged. Like, she is born to be on screen. Like, she's just that captivating to me. Like, just visually, just perfect. So that's that. Also, hot take, I guess, unpopular opinion, but I'm ready to step back into the Marvel universe. I know. And what better year than 2026? Because we have, again, as I said, like the Spider-Man movie, Brand New Day, coming up, and the Avengers Doomsday movie coming at the end of the year. And I am optimistic. I want these two movies to do well. I'm ready to step back in. I'm feeling the hype, oddly enough. Like, I am excited to see what these movies bring to us. Like, they're both pretty big projects, I think, both of them. They have a lot of interesting characters to work with, and I'm very excited to see a return to form for Marvel. I really hope it's going to be that. I mean, again, in my previous episode, go and check it out. I talked about how difficult it's going to be to have Avengers Doomsday. It's a very tall order to like have a perfect movie with that, because the Russo brothers would have to like, you know, connect so many things that have been unconnected for so long with Marvel. So I'm not expecting too much from that, but I also think that I'm relatively, you know, optimistic, or at least hyped about it. I want to see. I'm very curious to see how the Russo brothers are going to deal with characters like Sue Storm, Milana Belova, the X-Men. You know, like the Russo brothers are famously known for their blowouts, like how they just curate. I mean, I don't know who they have in their costume department or whatever, who works with them specifically, but they always turn their female characters into like very cunty characters. Like, just the looks they gave to like Scarlett Johansson for their movies. I will never forget the middle part, Bob. What was it that Scarlett Johansson had in the Winter Soldier? Oh my god, that was such a look. And we've seen the potential already from the end credit scenes of Fantastic Four and Thunderbolt that were shot by the Russo brothers. They didn't shoot the movies, but they only shot the end credit scenes, and it looked so different from the rest of the movies, and in such a good way. Like, Sue Storm with that hair in the end credit scene, incredible. Like, just outstanding. I want to serve cunt, and I'm also excited. Technically, what really is also interesting me about these movies is that I'm excited for what can come after this phase is done. It's gonna be the mutants, and I'm excited to see. I'm ready to move on basically from the multiverse saga. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm excited to see how this chapter ends, but I'm also very excited to see how it moves on to the new stuff. So yeah. Then to end, I guess, my ends, more Blackpink, please. I'm ready for this. I'm ready to fully get into this moment. YG, please give us this fucking album, please. And I'm not talking specifically about group necessarily. Like, I want a group album, but I also am ready for more solo stuff, especially with the big year that Jennie and Rosé specifically have had. I think I'm really, you know, eager to see where they go next. The two of them specifically. I think Lisa and Jisoo, they've done a good job with what they have, but I think it's pretty clear that Jennie and Rosé are the two standouts in the solo department, I guess. So I'm ready to see what Rosie and and Jenny are gonna be able to bring us. So yeah, and I do foresee Rosie clearing the Grammys, or at least getting one Grammy, and that's gonna be massive for the K-pop community. So yeah, Blackpink Domination 2026. What better way than to start off the year than with the Grammys, So amazing stuff. Let's see what happens. Hopefully 2026 is gonna be a great year for everyone. But with that, this was my list of ins and outs for 2026, basically. I'm gonna leave you guys to the sponsor for the episode. I always do this for the episode, and then songs of the week. See you in a bit. So it's time to talk about the sponsor of this episode. I wanted to quickly shout out something that I think is actually really interesting. Clear Protein. You might have heard from me about this specific product before in previous episodes, but if you're like me and you hate thick chalky protein shakes that taste like dessert gone wrong, this is genuinely different. Clear makes clear whey protein, so instead of vanilla or chocolate sludge, it's more like a light fruity drink. Think flavors like strawberry watermelon or wild blue raspberry. Very refreshing, especially after a workout. You just have to mix it with water, no milk needed. So that's even better because it avoids making you feel bloated and just makes the whole shake much lighter. Each serving has 20 grams of protein with 0 sugar and 0 lactose, so it works for most diets and doesn't wreck your stomach like some other traditional protein powders. It's designed to help with muscle recovery and endurance, but honestly, it also just feels easier to actually drink consistently, which is kind of the whole point. And so if you want to try, you can just get 20% off anything from their website, which is the highest discount they offer anywhere. Just use my code Overshare Pamphlet for 20% off. So that's Clear Protein with a K, and you can find the link in the show notes if you forget the code. Right, it's Songs of the Week moment. You can find all these songs as usual on the Overshare Pamphlet, Songs of the Week January 2026. This is the playlist that we're starting for this month. Every month we have one, so you can just go and check also previous playlists if you want. But this one specifically, we're starting off and we're keeping the ball rolling in terms of French songs. Like the last episode I talked about a couple of French songs that I really got into, and the obsession keeps going. We have Princess Chaos by Yoa. There's a very, very, very cool song. I'm obsessed with it. I just cannot stop listening to it. It sounds a bit there's a good mix between like synth and guitar, basically. Just really good. I haven't delved into the lyrics quite as much yet, but I can tell you something about like starting over again and all that stuff, and just basically embodying chaos in that sense, like being okay with being chaotic and all that stuff. Very cool song. I really recommend listening to it. It sort of feels I don't know, like it reminds me a bit of, it's not necessarily 1989 Taylor Swift coded, but not at all. But it just sort of I feel like it could be in that. Production wise, it reminds me a bit of a Blank Space for whatever reason. But we live for that. So period. So yeah, I really recommend that song. So cool, so catchy, very, very good. Incredible vocals as well. Next one is Stay Green by LDX but this is her newest album that came out not too long ago last year. And I think the album is called Happiness Is Going to Get You. But the song itself is I would say almost falls into the Olivia Dean category in terms of production, but the meaning of the song is very, very good. That's what I really, really like about the song. The lyrical content is really, really interesting, and the writing is really good. It's sort of like very hopeful song, and it's a message, to stay green to stay, positive and stay, you know, like to keep on being like still youthful despite time being very harsh and life being very hard, to just like keep staying green basically. And I really think that's a very good song. I really enjoy it. Also very catchy, very nice production, very vibey, really like that. So yeah. Then I have Help, I'm Alive, which I envision this to be in a Twilight movie. Like, it just feels that it's like indie type of music. A bit more on the rock-ish side, but still very indie, very cool. Just I feel like it could easily be on the Twilight soundtrack. It's such a cool song. We recommend it. By Help, I'm Alive by Metric. Check it out if you want to just feel like you're in your indie angsty mood. Not angsty necessarily, but more like, literally the title is perfect. Like, Help, I'm Alive. Like, that's just the very Tumblr coded song, I think. And then last but not least, Bite the Apple by Claudia Bouvet. And that's quite an interesting song production wise. Like, it's very, I would say first it felt a bit tango-y, but then it gets a bit more like tropical sounding, if that makes any sense, like island sounding a bit. Very cool, very interesting. And I think that the main message of the song is basically like, her taking a sort of ownership of all the things that have gone wrong in this relationship, and like how certain things are not supposed to be said and all that stuff, and how people tell you that you shouldn't bite the apple, but you still do. Like, you give in to temptation and just say the wrong things. That's basically what I think the song is about. And you think that you shouldn't necessarily do, but you just are too in your head and too tempted to do certain things that affect other people, that you just do it. So yeah. Interesting production wise, interesting also in terms of just vibes. So yeah, I mean, listen to the song, listen to all the songs, and before the police get me, happy 2026. It wouldn't be an episode of mine without the police getting me, but yeah, enjoy. Have a great start of the year, guys.